Hello from Village, I'm Erin Parsons, and in this video I'm going to show you step by step how to make a candle. So let's get started. So first you have to decide the type of candle that you want to make. Do you want to make a container candle? Do you want to make a freestanding candle? This will decide the type of supplies that you're going to need. So it's important to know what it is you want to do. So today we are going to be making some jar candles. So then the next thing that you need to decide is the type of wax that you want to use. So there's so many different types of wax. There's soy wax, there's coconut, there's paraffin, there's beeswax. So you want to select a wax that's going to work really well for the type of candle that you want to make. So today we are going to be working with Nature Wax C3. It is a great soy wax blend. It's going to give us a great scent throw and nice color because we want to dye our candle. So that's the wax that I have selected to work with today. So then the next thing that you need to do is choose your containers. So we've already selected 2 6-ounce mason jars to use for our candles today. And then you need to find out what the diameter of your jar is, and this will help you select your wick, which is the next step. So the 6-ounce mason jar has a bottom diameter of about 2.9 inches. So if you subtract the thickness of the glass, the area where the wax is going to sit has a diameter of about 2.7 inches. Now that makes it a little bit tricky because our wick, our HTP 93 wick would go for would work for a 2 to 2.5 inch candle, whereas the HTP 105 wick is for a 2.5 to 3 inch. So we're gonna go with the HTP 105 for this candle. Now, some of you may wonder, the top diameter of the candle is actually about 2.3 inches. So some of you might have thought that you needed to select an HTP 93 for this. But as you can see, because the top of the jar tapers in a little bit and isn't quite as wide as the bottom, that's why I went with the bottom diameter. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. So we are gonna go with the HTP 105 for these candles today. So once we've selected your wax and your container, or your mold if you were going to be doing a freestanding candle, and then your wick, you're ready to get started. So first thing we're gonna do is measure out 1 pound of wax, which I already have done here. So I've measured out the 1 pound of wax, and I'm going to pour it into our melter, and then we're going to plug it in, and we're going to set it to a low temperature. We have it set for about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to let our wax melt. We have our wax all melted, and it's important to find out what temperature the wax recommends that you melt it to. And so the Nature Wax C3 actually recommends between 160 up to 200. So that's a vast range. So that's why you need to do some experimenting to find out the temperature that's going to work the best for you and gives you the results that you want for your candle. So I've got my wax all melted. Let's see what temperature we're at. We're at 200. So that's the max. So we're going to turn that off and we're going to put that wax into our pour pot so that we can add our scent and our color. All right. So for scent, it says that you can, the max fragrance load that they recommend for the C3, the Nature Wax C3 is 6%. So that's going to be, for 1 pound, it'll be around 1 ounce of fragrance. So I have a 30 ml bottle. This time I'm using Seaside Solitude, which is one of our lovely summer fragrances. So I'm going to just add that in there. And I'm going to use turquoise. Now our turquoise liquid dye is a very, very light dye. So in order to get any color from it, you need to shake it well and you need to use quite a bit. So I'm going to use 7 drops and then you'll see what that does to 1 pound of wax. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we use 7 drops of the turquoise dye. And now we're going to stir. Mix that all in. Yeah, I can already see that it's going to be a very faint color. And as it is with soy wax acts a lot like white paint would act if you put in some colored paint. You're not going to get a bright, vibrant color. What you're going to get is a soft pastel color. So this is going to be a very, very soft color, which will go lovely with our Seaside Solitude. All right, so that's all mixed in. And we're going to wick our jars and then pour that wax right away. So we've got our stickums, which are fabulous. They're really great for holding your wicks in the middle of the jar so that you don't need to worry about it coming loose and floating away on you, because that can be dangerous if the wick comes loose and floats towards the glass and the flame is allowed to burn right up against the glass, because then that can cause the jar to shatter and melted wax to go everywhere, and nobody wants that, right? All right. So now we're going to pour. Well, let's get our wicks centered first. All right, so our wicks centered. So you can see that it's a very, very soft color. All right, so now we're gonna let those sit and set up, and then I'll bring you back and show you what they look like. Okay, so our candles have set. So now what we need to do is remove the wick centering tool, and we need to trim our wicks to about 1/4 inch. I like to use these toenail clippers. They were perfect for just snapping off the wick right where you need them. All right, so then our candles are all set. And if we wanted to sell these, then I would definitely recommend that your last step be to put your safety caution label on either the bottom or inside the lid. All right.